In this video, you'll find access to resources for dealing with the Saturn conjunct Mars transit occurring in April 2018. I get asked by members what can be done when there's harsh things happening environmentally in the atmosphere. A lot of the solutions that we've had work really well over time for a number of years for members. Going through YouTube, and there's some good videos and articles around that are dealing with the with this aspect. I'm not really seeing much on how can you survive it, how to manage it. So I'm going to talk about that in this video. Some of the solutions that we have. One of the things that I've done is I've made a survey of some of the better articles, and unfortunately they don't turn up. Some of the ones that I think are the best are not turning up a lot in the top ranking in YouTube. There's a couple that are worthwhile. There's one that I thought was quite good to understand the nature of the energy. This lady here, Jewel, I think she does a good job. I think that's probably one of the better videos that I've seen that describes the nature of the aspect. This particular one is natal. So this is something that's happening in someone's natal chart. But I think that you can really get an understanding as to the nature of how this energy will affect people through much of what she describes as the natal. In other words, when Mars conjunct Saturn in early April, a lot of the characteristics of it will, I believe, match a lot of what she's described here. So I'm going to recommend that this is something that you check out. And like I said, I've surveyed a number of some of the best articles online. One of the things that you want to do, this is going to affect most people in different ways, and it will certainly be noticeable in the house that it appears in your chart. So, you want to be aware of, where is Saturn conjuncting Mars in your chart, like what house will it be in, because that will tell you what part of life, you're most likely to be impacted. What's really intense is I know of some people that it's really bizarre how the wheel of destiny turns. Some people actually have not just the experience of Saturn conjuncting Mars in a given house, but they sometimes have the double whammy of actually having that happen in their natal and transit charts, where they're literally actually getting both the background Saturn conjuncting Mars as well as a transiting Saturn conjunct Mars, and that's pretty tough to deal with. So in the comment section of this video below, you'll find a link. Just click on that link and so you can get access to the select articles that I've chosen. That will get you up to speed fast on understanding what's going on there. Probably if you want to get a good handle on how it's likely going to affect you personally, you're welcome to contact me. You can go to our main website, soundofstars.org, or soundofstars.org. Click on the try button up at the right. Just shoot a message off to me. I'll respond to you, and then you can email me and just say, hey, I'd like information about how this is going to affect me. And the most important resource, and the thing that seems to be lacking here, is that like I said, there aren't any, remedies or there's no remedy here that people are talking about. I mean, this is such a big deal, but there's really no information on how can you manage this. And there are ways to do that. There's actually a number of things that you can and you want to do. This tool has worked amazingly well for our members for years. And for those of you that are aware of what's often called planetary or aspect remedies, in most cases this comes from Vedic astrology, Jyotish, Eastern, Hindu style astrology. And there are certainly some good solutions for a variety of issues for example, in Ayurvedic type remedies. And there's certainly some good remedies derived, from the West. Often these are expensive, depending on what it is and how you're proceeding. So if you were to get like a hopefully effective Vedic remedy, it could be quite pricey. This particular tool is not pricey, and it works pretty well for most people, and it's easy to use, and it's a good generalism. So if you're in a situation where you have an affliction to Saturn, there's a hard aspect to Saturn, and certainly Mars conjuncting Saturn, Saturn conjuncting Mars, that's a candidate. This is something I suggest because it's had such a good performance background for such a long period of time. And what we've done is we've actually collected a number of the stories from people that have used it, and pretty impressive, just like the depth and breadth of the coverage in managing. Basically what we see happening here is that the acuteness or the intensity of the aspect or transit is often blunted. So worst case scenario on average is that the affliction gets minimized. This particular tool helps an individual to keep their head above water often. So I would encourage you to check this out. And there's quite a lot of interesting feedback from people on this. So I'm going to just let you scroll through that field in this article or in this page, and all you've got to do is click on the link below, and you'll be able to get access to the select articles that I've personally found the most helpful. So that will be sent to you, and then you can also get access to more information on Saturn Shield.